Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this Pitchero webinar, where today we're going to go over everything that you need to know about the club and manager apps for the upcoming season. So essentially, today, what our plan is we're going to cover, obviously, like I say, the manager and club app. So with the manager app, we'll go over the roles and permissions that you need, the key functionality such as match fees, amending fixture information, so on and so forth, as well as going through a live demo. And then obviously, whilst that demo is going on, we'll also have the Q&A going as well. So I'll run through a few key bits, and then obviously that's your chance for you guys to then throw any questions at me that you may have in terms of whether it's a use case for your guys' club, something that you're potentially looking to use, how best to do it, what a member may see, so on and so forth. Then obviously, off the back of that, we'll then move on to the club app. And then this is more, obviously, I know you guys are the admins, but this is more so you guys can know exactly what you're implementing on the manager app is then going to affect on the club app. So you can see that, make sure everything's as you expect. And obviously, should you need to field any questions from members, you've then also got the capability to do that off the back of this. So yeah, it's going to be making payments on the go, setting your schedule, so your availability, managing that. And then obviously, additionally to that, with the club app, you can also get instant news alerts and push notifications from communication, news articles that are sent out, events that are going on at the club, match reports that are posted. There's a whole host of stuff that go on there. And then obviously, again, same thing, we'll go on to a live demo and then obviously the Q&A section. Before we get into the webinar, sort of the nitty gritty of it, I just want to put it out there for you guys. I'm sure most of you will be aware now. There's a pricing restructure coming, and it's going live from today. So essentially, we've got until 1 p.m., which I know is only an hour away, but you've got until 1 p.m. if you guys are looking to upgrade or possibly look to move up to the annual from the monthly and lock in a price. You've got until 1 p.m. today to do it. So obviously, if that's something you're looking to do, then go into your admin dashboard, click just below where it says the name club, and it'll have your package, and you can go in there, and you can upgrade, you can go to the annual should you want to, things of that nature. Any questions you may have about that, shoot them over to the team quickly, which is support@pitchero.com, and then they can obviously help with that. So just want to make you all aware of that. Now that's done, we'll move on to the actual webinar itself. So the roles and permissions, what are you guys going to need to actually then give people the relevant access to get onto the manager app? So very simply put, there's two admin roles that you can have to get access to the manager app. That is, as you can see there, team admin and webmaster. So they're the two that can use the manager app. Essentially, it's the exact same login as what they would use just for their Pitchero account, but because they've got those admin roles, they can then log into the manager app. Obviously, if you guys are thinking, oh, I'm a team admin and I actually need to be a webmaster, then speak to one of the webmasters at the club, and or you can apply for the role through your account, and they can help grant you with the relevant access that you need, or they can guide you through potentially what access role and why you've got that specific one. So lovely. This is just a few screenshots of the Pitchero Manager app. Obviously, there's requesting payments, there's the match center area there. We can see the fixtures, availability, so on and so forth. Then we've got the key features, again, which is a match center. So you can add fixtures, edit the fixture info, put the result in, view the result. There's so much more to it as well. You can also view the availability in there, which is brilliant. There's also an availability section itself. So you can see the availability en masse for dates. Additionally to that, you can go into a specific team's fixture whilst you're doing the team selection. You can also see the availability in there. Like I say, we'll cover all this as we go through. And then the other big one, which I know a lot of clubs like, especially for potentially juniors, some like seniors as well, is the ability to manage training. So create training sessions, track player attendance. Essentially what that then allows you to do is someone at the club goes, oh, I've only played in 2 games this year when I think I should have played in 7, you can then pull up a report, and if they then only attended 2 training sessions, you've got your reasoning there why. Additionally to that, it's also brilliant for safeguarding purposes as well. in terms of tracking when and where various children have been up to, should parents ever raise the question. Additionally to those, you've also then got automated social media updates. So essentially with like live scoring, things of that nature, those prompts can then go out to social media. Team selection prompts can go out. I'm sure you guys have all seen that on the Twitter pages as you work through the apps themselves. And then the big one is obviously the collection of match fees. So prompting players for a specific fee, creating those fees are obviously done in the admin dashboard, not on the manager app. So the initial product setup is done within there. Should you not know how to do that, we've covered that on previous webinars. So if you want to just get in touch with us, we can then send the link over to you so you can then watch that back. And then additionally to that, you can also have your captains track who's paid and not paid with the match fees as well, which is absolutely perfect because they can keep on top of that. Reduces a little bit of admin for the treasurer, and I'm sure everyone will appreciate that. So again, then moving on to the club app. You've then got the key features in here. So you've got the schedule, which is obviously viewing your fixtures, training sessions, setting your availability, putting notes on it, seeing club events, so on and so forth. Then there's also managing payments. So you can see, again, outstanding match fees, whether it's your monthly membership you may need to pay for the club. You can manage your subscriptions through there as well. Choose what cards are on the products, all that good stuff. One of the key things of them, obviously, club app is actually receiving everything on the go. So you're receiving prompts to make the payment, maybe just the day after a fixture or the day of. You can then make the payment whilst you're still at the clubhouse. The other one is also seeing what's going on at the club, just the general sort of ongoings, news articles, again, club events, match reports, all that stuff coming through, keeping members sort of tuned in and tapped in with what's going on at the club throughout the season. It's really handy, and obviously members like to feel involved, so it's a perfect way to do so. And then on there as well is obviously view results, so members can go in there and find the results from the weekend. They can have a look through the event should you have updated that, see who's been booked, sent off, scored, got an assist, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's all available within the club app. So yeah, now we're going to go jump in. We're going to start off with the manager app, and then we'll go on to some Q&As, like I say, and then we'll go on to the club app, and again, Q&A session. Just whilst this page shows up, just to make you aware, we've got the QR code to download the club app, and then the QR code to download the manager app. So if you guys obviously want to take a screenshot of that or anything like that, then feel free to do so. I'm just going to take a brief moment whilst I get my phone set up to start sharing, and then we'll get onto the demo of the manager app. Right, you guys should be able to see a shared screen of my phone and the manager app now. So if one of you wouldn't mind just popping something either in the chat or the Q&A section just to let me know, that'd be perfect. Lovely. Cheers, Nick and Peter. I'll get started on that. Obviously, like I say, any questions along the way, just drop them in that Q&A box as well. And then we'll come back to that at the end and answer any questions that you guys have got. So obviously, like I'm sure most of you are aware, this is the manager app. You've got a whole host of different information within here. I've got webmaster access, so obviously I can see all the teams at the club here. If you're a team admin, it will default to the team that you're the admin of, and that'll be the only team that you can then see on this section here. So obviously that's limiting the scope there for the admins. So first off, what we'll do, we'll go through adding a fixture, and then we'll go through the match centre side of things on top of that as well. So if I just go into the ad at the top there, it's nice and easy to add them in. I'll add one in for the men's first team, and then we'll play match fees, let's call it. What date is it going to be? We'll say the 18th. Start time is going to be 12:30. and it's going to be a friendly. That's absolutely fine. Then that's fixture created, nice and simple, nice and easy. Obviously, that then goes onto the club app for the members and the schedule. They can see that, and then they can obviously set their availability for it, as we'll come on to. So if we go into the match fees area here, sorry, not the match fees area, the match fees fixture, you've then got your match center. So we've got match information here, which obviously you can then edit. You can change the status of it if it's postponed due to waterlogged pitch, something like that. Then obviously there's locations as well. So if you guys have added those locations in, you can choose your location, meet times, instructions, all that good stuff. You can actually change the match format as well if you want to within there. If I then go into this section here, you've got availability, which shows you the availability for that date. But that obviously then shows as well within team selection. So with the team selection, there's a whole host of different formations for different sports. So if you want to change those up, you can go in there and change those up, choose which one suits you for that day. And then to actually then select your squad, nice and easy. You go in, make the selection, then obviously you've got the availability again in here. So you can go, availability is set to those that just say it is available. I'm not going to tick that as this is just a dummy account, so no one is actually available. And then hit done. It'll then bring up a list of those that are available. And it's just dead simple. You then go through and then you just make your selections in here. So it's nice and easy, nice and simple to do. We'll just select a few people in here. I'll get myself in for good measure. And then from that, you can then you can prompt players to confirm their selection for this game. Then you just hit send. Jobs are good, and that's all gone out. And then if you want to publish that team selection out further, you can then do so. So you can hit publish team selection, and that'll then go out to the wider club as well. So obviously nice and easy to do. And then when members come back in, should they accept it, you'll just see a green little tick go up there. And if they decline it, you'll also then get a notification to let you know it's been declined. So you can go in and change that retrospectively. Moving on from that, obviously during the actual game itself, you've got the scores and events section. So you can update the score, you can add match events. So within here, obviously this is specifically for football, as this is what that club is set to. These will change depending on what sport you're playing. So obviously for hockey, rugby, cricket, etc., they all change within this. So you can say someone got a red card in the first half, and it was the 10th minute and 15 seconds. It was Pitchero Sports, and it was Freddie. So you can whack that in. You can obviously update the score, add goal scorers, all that good stuff. And then, like I say, this stuff can then go out to Twitter and Facebook as well. It can also then it'll be published as a push notification to members as well, so they can then keep up to date with the scores, should you want to keep them up to date with that. So it's nice and easy to use. It's also a nice, easy way to keep members engaged with what's going on that day as well. So off the back of that, obviously the match fee. So like I say, this is all created in the admin dashboard in terms of the product. And then you can go to the match fees here. You can add players if you want to, or if you've done your team selection, you just hit use team selection. It'll then pull through those players in here, and it'll default to whatever you set as that default. From there, you can then go in and say, Rossi's actually a junior. I'm going to change that. Dan's a student. We're going to change him to that. And then Joe is also a junior. So we're going to change those up there. And then it's just a nice, easy case of hitting send. Obviously, you can then see it shows as unpaid in here. What you can then have as a captain is obviously as they come in and start paying, you can then go back and look at the fixture as we've just been into, and you can see whether it's unpaid or paid still. And then from there, you can then go back into the member. If they've paid you cash, you can mark that. If you want to add a note on it, if they've said maybe, oh, I'll pay you in 2 weeks' time, something like that, you can just hit add note, put that on it. Or if you want to re-request it, you can then re-request it. And obviously the other one is if someone's not due to pay a fee and you've accidentally assigned it to them, you can delete it. So it's nice and easy to manage in that. And then the bottom there is Pitchero Play. I won't be going on to that today, but obviously if you guys want to know any more about that, then contact the support team, which is support@pitchero.com. Lovely stuff. So moving on from that, obviously keeping in sort of with fixture side of things, we're going to have a quick look at availability. On here. So if you've got any feel Right. I think we just briefly lost each other there. Not 100% sure what happened with that. But back into it we go. So, yeah, didn't move any further. And obviously, still on to the availability. Obviously, we've covered that. Then the other ones, obviously, are training sessions. So you guys can create training sessions en masse. So if you want to put location, let's just put home ground. The training group is going to be seniors. Organizer is myself. Attending teams are the senior teams. And then you can choose a start date, which is going to be 1st of September. Obviously, I know that's already been, but you can then put start date as that, choose your start time and end time, and then you can put it repeats every week. So it repeat every Friday at that time. Then you can put it ends after. And then you can just choose however many weeks that you may have in that block. So if you choose 13, by example, there, you can choose that. Or if you know the specific date that it's going to end, you can choose that too. Add a description in if you want to. Click done. That'll then create those sessions for that squad. And then what you guys will be able to see is the availability for, obviously, those as you go through. So you've got the attendance there for potential people that are showing up. And the big one then you've got is obviously you can expect numbers based on who said they're available. And then obviously off the back of that, you can then mark attendance within here. And then from that, you can then find the attendance reports in the track and trace element of the admin dashboard. So that's nice and easy to keep on top of. So yeah, moving on to the next area, we've got members. This is basically your membership database. You've got the information in here for a variety of different members. Again, team admins will only be able to see the information for their team. Webmasters can see it en masse for everyone at the club. So you can go in and then view people's information. So if I just go into Wasim here, you've then obviously got the overview details. What you'll then be able to see, is you can send a message to them if you need to. And then additionally, I'm just going to find myself. What you will then be able to see is if they have a phone number, you can actually then contact them, give them a call. So it's a nice and easy way. Obviously, potentially for a parent, if you need to contact a parent, should they not have turned up to maybe pick up a child, or if the child's expected to play and they haven't turned up, you've then got a nice, easy way to contact them without having to save everyone's numbers into your phone and club up your contact list that way. So the last one to move on to is the announcement feature, which is basically, it ties in with the messaging, but you can then send messages out to custom groups and people, so on and so forth. You obviously just choose your recipients. You can filter that right down should you want to, add those in. And sorry, not that one. You choose your subject line and message, compose that, and then you literally just hit send. And what that then does is obviously it pings out a push notification and an email to those members to let them know they've got a message. But with it being an announcement from the manager app, it will turn off the replies. So it'll just be sort of like a pushed out announcement to get something out there. Generally speaking, you use this for things like trainings cancelled, change of date on a fixture, things of that nature that you just need to make people aware of, but you don't need to then create a chat about. So as we've just quickly whipped through stuff there, I appreciate it is quite a quick whip through. I'm just going to give it a minute or so, let any questions come in. I can see that we've got a couple in already, and then we'll go over some of those questions before we move on to the club app. Okay, lovely stuff. Those questions have just been briefly answered as they were about me. Seems we're freezing for a minute or so. So we'll move over to the club app. As I'm just briefly doing that, obviously, if there's any questions you want to ask about the manager app, then feel free to do so. Okay, so this is the club app. Obviously, this is what your members are going to see. So we'll go through a run through of a whole different sections of this, and then obviously what the prompts that you sent out are going to then trigger on the club app. So this is just sort of like the homepage login. So obviously it's got their team fixtures up here, the one that's coming most recent. And then obviously if you go that way, I don't have any ones in the future, but you've then got future fixtures. And then if you go backwards, you can then see the old previous fixtures in there as well. Additionally to that, should you have then sent out match fee reminders and prompts, they will then sit in here. As you can see, it's pretty prominent on the front end of the app. When they first go in, they'll be able to see if they've got any outstanding fees. Additionally to that, like I say, news articles, events, things of that nature that you publish will then be also sat in here. So that's nice and easy to navigate through. Along the top here, you've then got matches. So you can see matches for your teams. You can then see tables as well, news articles that have gone out from the club, photo albums that you may have in there, again, videos, and then events as well. Should you want to see further information for other clubs, if you see where it says Pitchero Sports at the top there, you can see it says men's first 11 and 3 others. If I just select that drop down, you can then actually go in, deselect a couple, and then go and view other teams as well. If you want to see fixtures for potentially a kids team, something like that, you can then do that as well. So nice and easy to navigate through. Keeping it specifically with members, obviously when you put those fixtures, training session, things like that out there, they will then sit within the schedule, which is just here. So as you can see at the top there, you can sync your schedule with your phone calendar. So if members want to get their schedule onto their Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, things of that nature, they can do so. And then it's a case of obviously setting their availability. So as you can see, it's done by date. So if I just select set availability there, you can hit I'm available and then add note, will be attending, and then hit save. That's all done. That availability is then on there. And then if I go, I know I'm unavailable on Thursday, I'm going to select that. Friday, I will be available, things of that nature. You can then go through, and obviously, should people then get selected, they'll get a push notification for that fixture. And what they'll also see is what you can see here. So obviously, it also asks me to set my availability because that hasn't yet been set, but also it says respond to selection. So if I click that respond to selection, it'll then say playing, not responded. So I'll just hit play in. So that's then me signed up and I'm playing for that game. Obviously, it's nice and easy to manage. People can do it week by week, day by day. They can do it for the whole season if they know their availability for the whole season. I know most people probably won't, but they can do so if they want to. But additionally to that, if any of your members have got kids, obviously they've got that parent link in there with the parent role, then the kids schedule can sit within their account as well, and they can manage that for their child in addition to it. So they can keep everything sort of under one roof, under one account, and just managed within the app. So nice and easy to sort of run through there. The other two sort of navigations at the bottom here are the messaging. So there's a whole host of different things that come through the messaging system. That can be prompts for payment for your membership. It can be the messaging from the manager app that I said earlier, the announcements. It can also be the one-to-one messages that you may want to send, whether it's something that you want to send to a child. Obviously, it can then to a parent, it'll then divert to the parent, but you can send a message to the child to say, well done for this fixture, you played really well, so on and so forth. And that'll sit within there. You can create new messages to message people directly. If you want to create a group chat, you can do that as well. So yeah, nice and easy to run through that sort of messaging system on there. It's a really nice way to have it off of something like WhatsApp. As I know a lot of people say that they use WhatsApp for it, and then they end up getting notifications 24 hours of the day from a variety of different group chats to do with the club. Obviously, if you can keep it all within Pitchero, you've then got sort of a central hub of absolutely everything, including that messaging as well. The last little navigation at the bottom here is the shop. So we'll go into the shop here, and then obviously, like you can see again, you've got the assigned to you. So it's the match fees again. I've got an absolutely enormous amount of outstanding match fees. Hopefully none of your members can get up to that. But if I go into view here, what you'll see is you can pay them by card or by Apple Pay. There'll be Google Pay as an option in there as well. And as we scroll down, these are all through for different teams, things of that nature. So you can pay them all in bulk if you need to. You can pay one fee, It's nice and easy to manage. The members can see it all in there and get a nice little breakdown of it. If I then go back, what you're then going to see as well is the membership options that I've been asked to purchase. So it says so-and-so has asked you to buy this product, and then you can click through and buy it. Additionally to that, if I just scroll down past the ones that have been assigned to me, which there'll be a load, you then get to see the club shop itself. So if you've got any fundraising stuff in there, you can see that, teamwear, tickets, etc. Also, along the top here, you've then also got the different categories that your members can toggle to. The one that some members will find quite helpful, as well as the club, I'm sure, if you have any members report they've paid, and maybe you're not convinced they have, something's gone amiss. In the top left here, that little clock, you can click that and it's your purchase history. So members will be able to see exactly what they've purchased from the club and get a breakdown of it within here. They get it year by year. And then they also, if you've got a child, you can then also see it for your child as well. I don't think I'll have any in that one for this one. So nice and easy breakdown in there. And then we'll move into the top right here. This is the last bit. Obviously, members, if they're a member of more than one club, they can toggle between their clubs within this section. However, the main things within here are the account details and the roles. So account details, if I go into that, you've then got a whole host of information in here. These are all then the club's registration form. So members can then go in and fill it out. Obviously, those with little red asterisks are required fields. And then if I then go to save changes, it then says that I've got fields still outstanding. So I then have to just work through and figure out which ones those are. So as you can see there, it's highlighted that one in red for me. That's still a required field I need to fill out. And then I just go in there and say, I'm a plumber, which I'm clearly not. You save those changes. That's saved. And then again, you can do the same for the child. If you need to, nice and easy to keep on top of. So if you send out a push notification to update membership info, it'll then come through to the club app. They click that, it'll take them through to this area and they can do that nice and quickly, nice and easily on the go. The other one is the roles. So obviously, like I say, if you've got any new team admins, obviously you guys as webmasters can then add those people in as team admins for the specific team. However, they can then request that role as well should they need to. So they can then go into this area and then see team admin of in this section. So obviously I've got the second team, I'm going to press manage there and I'll apply to be the admin of the first team as well. So that then gives me the access, obviously, on the manager app to then do the fixture management, training management, see a variety of different information for those members as well. The other little couple of bits to look at here, guys, are if you guys are experiencing any issues with the app, whatever that may be, whether it's a message isn't sent in, someone's payment isn't going through, by example, you can see here there's a report bug section. You can actually click that and it's a nice easy way to generate a support ticket. And then our support team can then see that. You can attach screenshots that you can take, obviously, off the app nice and easily. And then that pings out directly to them. Just a little bit easier for you guys than obviously having to go into an email, create an email, sending it to them. You can all do it all through the app. The other ones as well are the help center. So if you click that, it'll take you through to the help center to read the variety of different articles we've got. The other one as well is the notifications within here. So members can actually sort of toggle what notifications they want to receive for specific teams. So they can turn them off en masse, they can turn club content off, or they can turn team-specific content off as well. So a nice little bit of tailored notifications within the app. Obviously, they can turn the app notifications off en masse if they should choose to within their phone settings. So yeah, that's, again, a really quick whip through of the club app. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A section. We'll hang on a couple of minutes, see if any come through, and then we'll get those answered for you. Cool. So we've only got one question in from Liam, who has asked, can we set additional teams to be always visible in the filter team content? Say men's first team, we would like juniors to know about first team fixtures. The best way to do something like that, so essentially the club app is designed to be the members' sort of personal account in terms of setting their availability and managing themselves. It's not like a directly club-wide thing to see the fixtures for other teams. It's to see your fixtures for the games you're potentially playing in. If you then want members to see things for the first team, what I would potentially do is to send a news article out. That'll then send a prompt out to all your members, and then you can get a bit more interest in those fixtures if that's what you're aiming to do. Again, same with match reports, create those. They'll then send out push notifications as well, and that's a nice way to get it out to your juniors. Kevin, there is no question from you above, I'm afraid. Just looking back, if you could let us know what the question was. It doesn't appear to have come through. Cheers. No worries, Liam. Paul has asked, can you delete old messages on the message tab? No, you can't, Paul. Essentially, the reason for that is around safeguarding, just obviously because messages can be sent to children, which I know parents then get the notification, but it's just for clarity on the club side of it, so they can then actually get visibility of things. Kevin, that is obviously quite a specific one. Essentially, sometimes up to 2 to 3 days to actually pull through, depending on how busy the system. Suggest that to the support team, so they can actually take on this. But I don't imagine it's a sort of issue. It's just an issue would be my assumption. So, lovely stuff. Doesn't appear to be any more questions in, guys, so we'll leave it there. Obviously, this webinar will be sent round. If you then want to pass it out to anyone, feel free to do so. Essentially, Kevin, just get in touch with the support team. They'll be able to look into it for you. support@pitchero.com. Yeah, so we'll leave it there. And obviously, if you've got any other questions, feel free to drop us an email, which is w.dunkley, that's dunkerley @pitchero.com. More than happy to help with any questions and queries you may have. So thanks for joining, guys, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Cheers.